Are you connecting to the Patriots also?
Yes, sir.
Ask him how it was. He's connected already. All right. Kom op. Ek het lekker kuier mense hier. Kom op. Ek wou net nie sê wie my vriende is, man. So ek het 'n vriendjie gehad wat kom inloer in my kantoor. One of the men that I've had long discussions with in the past. We've shared ideas. We always differ very respectfully, meaning always. We don't always agree on stuff, but it's always respectful. That's altijd so. We're going to have like a 10-15 minute discussion quickly before I fly out about what's happening in the country. Because the temperatures are high. Everyone is like, we're talking past each other. And as a leader of a political party, I feel that we should speak to each other and we should hear people's viewpoints. The media is also not helping because they're putting fuel on the fire. I believe in South Africa we need to bring the temperatures down. We need to hear what we are saying to each other. Leave our egos. Let's listen to each other. And I'm speaking my capacity as the president of the Patriotic Alliance. That I'm not going to be told not to speak to people. That I will not do. And I have my friends here today that came in and they came to say hi.
Nee, baie dankie minister. Ek het nooit geweet ons gaan op die punt kom waar ek en hy met mekaar Engels gaan moet praat. Maar dit is wat vandag gaan gebeur. So yeah, I think it's important that we also speak so that our fellow South Africans that does not understand Afrikaans can also understand, because I think it's very important, as Minister Mckenzie said, that we should at least listen to one another. And our position at Afriforum is very clear, and we will continue with that position. And thank you so much, Minister, for accepting us here, even though we don't want to give you the kiss of death.
No. When I heard you are here, I said, come in, I even went to go fetch you.
Yeah.
What I want to say is, I tell you where I differ, and you can answer me.
Yes.
I think that my thing is that, number one, I think in South Africa we should be friends with China, we should be friends with America, we should be friends with Russia, we should be friends with everyone. We should put our economic interests first. That's my belief, and that's our party stance. We should be friends with, your economic situation. That's why politics exists, because of the economy. They can deny that all they like. But I believe that we should be everybody's friend. We are Mandela's children, number one. I don't believe the things I read about you in the paper. I don't believe that that's true. That what you are saying, like there's a genocide of white people. I think that's nonsense. There's no genocide of white people in this country. That's what I think, and I'll give you a chance to answer on that one.
Yeah.
I also don't believe that we as South Africans should call for AGOA, PEPFAR to be cancelled. It's going to affect jobs. It's going to affect people's lives. I also don't believe that, and I want to say myself, when it comes to the expropriation bill, I personally, let me tell you out of the deepness of my heart, I come from families that had lost land that was forcefully taken from them. District 6. And deep down in my heart, I also just want to grab land. But I understand, because I'm a businessman also, that property rights, if there's no property rights, there's no country. Now, I would love to go and take white people's land, but I understand we've moved on. I understand that things have changed. I am saying white people can't have all the land. But I'm saying, let us expropriate with compensation where we're going to expropriate. Let's pay people market value for the land. That is what I feel. And in conclusion, I just think that, we all speak past each other at the moment. And I want to be the one guy that says, let's get together. Let's hear each other. I don't agree with the things you're saying. You might not agree with the things I'm saying, but I must hear you. Yeah. And you must listen to me. And that's what I want to say. So I want to understand, there's no genocide here. White people are not being killed. In fact, I'm a colored. Colored people are dying more than anybody in this country. My people are dying daily. As I'm speaking to you, 3 is being killed already. But still, I can't say there's a genocide with certainty. And the issue of the thing, I think the ANC has handled this land issue very incorrectly. They have tried to make it bigger than what it really is. This law that the president, the bill, all countries have that bill. America has that bill. It's just called differently. England has that bill. Italy has that bill. It's everywhere. But I think they were trying to be clever with the way they have positioned it, and it's now backfiring. But I don't think it is how you explained it, the bill. That was where I differ with you, and then you can say your say.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Minister. There's, of course, a lot of questions here, but let me start off. I think people should not equate the ANC with the country. If you're going to take on things that the ANC leadership does, it doesn't mean you're taking on the country. The fact is, we love this country, we are loyal to this country. We also stated categorically that as Afriforum, as an organization, we have to build a future here. Of course, we respect the right of everybody else to decide for themselves. We're also thankful for the fact that President Trump has recognized some of the problems here in the country and that is willing to help. Okay, but then what has happened, unfortunately, when this whole issue came to the fore, the ANC did not want to do introspection. What we saw from them is that they went right ahead and decided to find some kind of scapegoat. And they did not attack what we said, and they just said it's their fault. And that is, it's easy if you are responsible for something and you want to evade that responsibility, blame somebody else. So in that regard, unfortunately, there was in terms of many media institutions, just follow that saying it's Afriforum's fault. And I've asked many of these journalists, okay, why did you say it's our fault? They said, no, you lied in the US. And we said, okay, what did we say was a lie? Give us a page, a number, an interview where we specifically lied. And people can't do that. Let me state categorically, and that has been our position since 2018, is that we believe it's in the interest of the normal citizens that we don't lose PEPFAR. And we have said that time and time again. We believe it's in the country's interest that we don't lose a goer. I think there are different views on how do we save PEPFAR and how do we save. Afgegaan omdat my Engels nie goed is nie, maar ek is daarom bly julle terug. So die waarheid is, hoe gaan ons AGOA red? Hoe gaan ons PEPFAR red? How are we going to save the day? It won't help us to send a delegation to the US and say, listen people, this is just one big misunderstanding. You were lied to. What are the real problems? South Africa has decided to get involved in the international power struggle. As a country with an economy that is about 0.4% of the world economy, we know that our biggest trade partner is China, then second it is the US. So if you're in a vulnerable position like this, the loyal thing to do, if you are a patriot that are loyal to the citizens, you put their interest first. I actually wanted to say South Africa first, but then people would think I'm using the language of President Trump that says America first. But if you say that, then you don't get involved into this, because it is a reality that South Africa is being perceived by the US as anti-Western and anti-American. And we have spoken to them now. They said, no, this is not something that has just happened now. They've been seeing this for a long time, even under the Biden administration. And then what has changed now is not that Afriforum started speaking. We've been speaking since 2018. Is that there is now a president that wants to act. If you look at things that happened, for instance, there's an effort now to change the Sandton Street in Sandton to Leila Khalid. And then you have Nomvula Mokonyane saying publicly, we want to do this so that the American consulate will have to put that name on this letterhead. Those are the kind of things that angers people. If you're going to have an expropriation act, and it won't help us to now say, no, this act is not a real problem. We've also never said that there is large-scale expropriation without compensation. This act was only published on the 24th of January in the Government Gazette. But if people don't agree with us saying we're sending out the wrong message, I can say go and read section 12.3 of the Act, go and read section 19.8 of the Act, and then decide for yourselves. 12.3 says you can expropriate with no compensation, which the Deputy President Mashatile last year, October, said that is exactly the same as without compensation. And then people say, no, but there are clear grounds what you can do, when you can do it. So it's not broad. But if you read the start, it says including, but not exclusively. So you can have other reasons as well. But I think the biggest problem is 19.8. 19 and then in brackets 8. People say, don't worry, you can go to the courts. But the reality is what that section says, if your land is expropriated, but then you've lost your land, you don't have an income from that land anymore, you can start a court case within 180 days. The problem is, if you start that, if you look at the Gauteng, North Gauteng court, if there's going to be a court case that's disputed, if you are, and Afriforum has done that quite a lot, if you try to go to court now, you will only get the court date in 2028. Then that court case will take 2 years. So this will take you 5 years at the minimum to take this to court. You have to pay for your own legal fees, and you don't have an income to pay for your legal fees. And then what is the reality? Government knows that. So now they offer you perhaps 20% or let's say even 50% of the value, and you say, okay, do I have the resources to fight against the government that has taxpayers' money? If I fight, I maybe will get more money in 5 years' time. So this is an infringement on property rights.
But I understand that, but really, I can tell you that as a fact. I think, let me first start with the first thing you're saying. I don't speak for the South African government. Nomvula doesn't speak for the South African government. Yeah. The South African government has a president and a spokesperson, cabinet, there's a cabinet, and there's a cabinet spokesperson. I'm part of cabinet, but I've got opinions that shouldn't be taken as this is what government is saying. So when people like the DSG of the ANC speaks, she gives the ANC's position. Yeah. She's not giving the position of the government. So I don't think she should be judged with the government. That's number one. Number two, the issue of this country is terrorism. To give out the message that people's farms are being taken, and it's not being taken. Yeah. All my white friends that has farms, I also have farms. My family has farms. But all my white friends, we bride this weekend on their farms. They walk their bare feet on their farms. I'm saying yes, crime is a problem. White people, black people, colored people do get robbed on their farms. That's a fact. But it's not a government program. What I have a problem with, I think you're right when you say government should really be friends with everyone. But I do think that we need to, the narrative out there that black people are taking the land of white people in this country. I was in Zimbabwe when that happened. Because we used to have businesses in Zimbabwe. And it was Armageddon. All I'm saying is I want Afriforum to come clear out to say there's no genocide. Because the genocide is what happened in apartheid. The genocide is what happened with the Jewish people. The genocide is what happened to black people during apartheid. Yeah. There's no genocide. But in America, my kid is in America and he asked me, Dad, are they killing white people because that's what they're saying at our school? That we need to fix that perception. And I do not think the ANC really, and I'm not speaking for ANC, but I really don't think they have a policy to take white people's farms. This policy that everybody is going crazy about, I think they have brought it out wrongly. They should have explained it, but they just brought out this policy. It's like saying we have the death penalty, but we're not going to hang nobody. That's how I see it. That's the stupidity of it. We got a death penalty, but we're not going to hang anybody. So it's understandable for people to think like that. But the action on the ground, white people and black people in this country took a decision, we're going to live together. We can't let that go to waste now. And I'm glad that you have now say that you want, we should not equate what you say against the ANC, it's not the country. But you must also be clear and not say South Africa. Because ons is baie lief vir mekaar as Suid-Afrikaners. Ons moet saamwerk. Ons moet saambou. Ons moet die land bou. Debat ek sê ek moet nie meer praat nie. Ek het jou laas week gesê, dis 'n terroris, maar hier sit ek met die terroris. Dit ek praat.
Ja. Nee, baie dankie. Let me state, when this happened or became known on the 3rd of February, our first statement was to say, don't punish the people of South Africa. If you're going to punish, then punish the ANC leaders that you are angry with. And that has been our message all along. With regard to if you say it's not ANC policy to take land, then the spokespersons must portray that. But
yet, it's not the policy yet.
Yes.
Expropriation without compensation.
Yeah, and you know, if with this specific act, if some people say no, they'll never do it. But if you see somebody taking a gun and loading the gun, and that is the expropriation act, some say no, but he'll never shoot. He's just got a gun that's loaded, and some of his spokespeople says he's going to shoot. It would be irresponsible not to take that. With regard to, so that has been our message, and we believe if we don't solve this, irrespective of what Afriforum says, irrespective of who goes to Washington, we will have big trouble. And that is why we say be open about the crisis and address it. With regard to murders on farms, murders on farms are a reality, just as in the Cape Flats, you have murders of cuddled people, just as you have violence against women and children. But the difference here is when you have violence against women and children, it's actually pronounced as a priority crime, and there is a strategy to tackle that, even at 16 days of activism, and we are positive about that. Gary Nell, that prosecutes from our side, the most people that he prosecutes is with regard to violence against women. Just the past week, Alexi Bisos was given 100,000 rand for beating his wife and breaking her ribs. But if you support that, you're not saying violence against men is okay. If you are saying rhino poaching is a priority crime, it doesn't mean you say, well, stuff the elephants, they can be shot. If you're saying gang violence is a problem, it's a priority crime because there needs to be a specific strategy. So what we've said is that in terms of farms, they're far off. We're seeing tortures that happen, and there needs to be a specific strategy, and we also need to make sure, just as everybody was angry with Penny Sparrow when she made those disgraceful remarks, she was even given a prison sentence. Why are we quiet when Obakeng Ramabodu last year said just across the road here at the Tshwane Metro Council, I want to moer 'n boer, or I want to see Afrikaner blood. The same with Julius Malema saying kill the boer. So I'm not saying the country should be held responsible for what those individuals said.
Yes.
But what I'm saying, it's a real problem if the Human Rights Commission, no, it's not a problem if the Human Rights Commission, the prosecuting authority, everybody takes on penny sparrow. The problem is the Human Rights Commission was quiet with regard to Mr. Ramabodu. There was a complaint laid at the police, nothing happened. President Ramaphosa said nothing. So the problem is here, you have a specific kind of crime. These things are happening, the government is quiet, so we are saying make it a priority crime, but then you have the president going to the US and saying there's no such a thing as farmers. But with regard to the white genocide thing, that we actually now, 4 media institutions wrote this. We've won every time they had to apologize. The latest one is the Sunday World. But despite that, people continue placing those false words into our mouth.
With a person, there's a man, his name was Black Man in Goro. Black Man in Goro. He said colored people are drunkards.
Yeah.
Colored people should, they just stay dogs. And there's a mayor in Welkom from the ANC, both are from the ANC. They said colored people should just be beaten because we are drunkards.
Yeah.
I can't say it's the ANC government saying that, it's an individual. Yeah? So here's my question to you. So you are saying there's no white genocide in South Africa?
No, we've never said that, but there is a serious problem.
No, there's a problem, but I'm saying, you're saying, no, of course there's a problem. Farm people are being killed on the farms, there's a problem.
Yeah.
But you're saying there's no white genocide?
No, genocide is what we saw in Rwanda.
Yes, that is my problem.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you are man enough to say there's no genocide, but there's a problem on the farms.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? There's a problem on farm. And I can tell you, colored farmers are also being killed, and you can show you records, number one. And I think Ramabodu, what was the guy's name that said that boer? Hy was 'n boer.
Obakeng, ja, ek gaan vir 3 keer sê hy moet hom.
Ja, bring hom maar. Hy moet met 'n boer beklei, bring 'n boer seer laat hulle kom beklei. Ek sê my fight promote, hy moet met 'n boer. So bring 'n boer, laat hulle mekaar boer en ons moet hy fight sien laat die boer seer op bliksem.
Ons bel sommer vir 3 keer nou.
Ja, dit die bring ons sommer 'n EK for 7 daar, dink ek toe. Wat ek wil sê laastens, soos ons gesê het, just as I said, I was speaking English, that, you know, die is ons land. Wat ek die minister word, was ek gevraagd van die stem moet afgehaal word. Toe sê ek nooit, nie terwyl ek die minister was. Ek het wit vriende, wat ek vergeet, hulle is eintlik wit. Ons het wit partylede, ons het swart partylede, ons het inge. Ons moet streef om een nasie te word. Ek wil dit nie hê, dat diegene wat ons uit mekaar wil sien. En ek wil vir my blanke so mense julle fok nergens sien. Fokkel Amerika toe, julle fokkel bly net hier. Dis julle land soos dit my land is. Julle gat nowhere nie. Julle fokkel bly net hier. Daar's nie fokkel klip dit of daar's nie braaivleisie. Daar's barbecue. Julle weet jy, daar's 'n groot verskil met barbecue en braaivleis. Maar kom ons bou die land en die mense kan ons moet ook leer as die leiers van die land. Dat mense nie aan ons wat saamstem nie. People are going to agree with you. Yeah. We must not be arrogant. We must listen to the other views and we must try to convince them to say by argument, not by ignoring them or by saying I will not speak to this or Gayton is a gatkruiper van America. Listen, let me tell you something off the bat. All my friends knew before all this thing, I love Donald Trump. I love that man. Everybody in the PA knows I love Donald Trump. Now all of a sudden I must not love Donald Trump. I love Donald Trump since the days of his reality show. All my friends know that. But even the people that I love my partner, but I differ with her. That doesn't mean you can't differ with people. If I differ with my partner, doesn't mean I stop loving her. I stop loving her. So I want to say that we must differ. We must differ. Mense, kom ons bou die land. Ons is een nasie onder God. Dat ons ophou, in die army klaar nie die woord gehad, wat my oom vir my gesê, hy was op die army. Ek sê, moet jy op die doelwoord rondfokkie. Ja, verstaan die woord. So, byt vast, ons gaan die land bou. Ek dink nie president Ramaphosa gaat opdracht gee dat die plase moet geneem word nie. Kom ons bou net die land en laat ons vriende is met China, laat ons vriende is met Amerika, laat ons met allemaal vrienden wees. En ek het I got 2 invites to America. Toen denk ik, nee, ik wil maar nog niet gaan. Nee. I got 2 invites now this month. And to say Americans say, come here, I want to talk to you. I said, no, I'll wait and see what happens. Maar so julle is ook op pad Amerika toe laat is.
Ja, ek dink minister, kom saam met ons, dan kan ons hierdie boodskap gaan.
Ek gaan saam met jou. As 'n PA, as 'n member van die PA, gaan ek 'n delegasie.
Miskien kan ek net daarom ietsie in die ligter trans sê. Hierdie voorwoord, soos wat my dogtertjie noem, toe sy baie klein was, toe een keer het ek nou op per ongeluk so 'n woordjie laat gaan en toe sê sy vir my, dit gaan na mamma toe. so toe is ek nou baie versigtig, want sy nie vir mamma vertel nie, mamma kyk dalk hierso. Ek gaan nou baie mooi praat, maar goed. Miskien dink ek is net belangrik op 'n bietjie meer erns. Your sister that paid the legal fees for the Mkukumate community to build the school. These now 95% of people here are black people. So we have not changed our tune. We want to build this country, as the minister said. We extend the hand of friendship to all people. But it's exactly because we are loyal that we don't want this country to go the Zimbabwean route. We've seen in Zimbabwe, it's not just landowners that have suffered. I don't have land. I might look like a farmer. I can't even plant a tomato in my backyard. But the reality is, we've seen hyperinflation. We've seen between 1 and 3 million Zimbabwean people coming here.
And they must go.
Yeah, so that is another debate.
We'll talk about that.
But the problem is, if we are not going to take this on, if we fight, and we're going to fight hard against what the ANC is doing against this country, it's out of loyalty to the country, and we want to stop a disaster. And people can blame us that we are the cause of this. We know what the truth is. The ANC is the root cause of what the problems we are seeing.
100%. I think I just want to say with the Bella Act, the president did call myself, the DA, and the Freedom Front Plus, and we negotiated. I want to be, maybe people don't want to tell you the truth. I was in Russia when the president called me. We met. He had a clearinghouse where Kenny Kunene, Helen Zelle, and them are sitting there. They were negotiating. It was very brave of him to take it out. But I've learned one thing. You can't always get all that you want. Then that's not a negotiation. We win some, we lose some. Bella, we've lost. And we must, I don't want it to come across as just, we must get everything we want. Yeah. And because it's a give and take. We wanted Bella not to be implemented in its form, but negotiations, and people must be honest about it. We've lost that one. There's some that we do win, there's some that we think in the government of national unity. As a parting shot, because we have to go, I just want to say to you that the PA, we love this country, the Patriotic Alliance. We also going to have a delegation, because I heard the DA is going to America. Everybody see we go. We will see real people when we get there. We have friends. The Patriotic Alliance leadership will go to America to save the jobs, to save AGOA, to save PEPFAR. And Donald Trump can't tell us what to do. 100%. That is a negotiation. Yeah. We must tell him, no, we don't agree with that. We don't agree with it. Can't we do this? India is friends with America and is part of BRICS. We can do the same. We don't need to be... places like Iran, they do nothing for this country. We don't need us to make enemies because of Iran. This is my belief. So I'm saying that... Baie dankie dat julle gekom het. Ja, kom ons bou die land. Ons is een nasie onder God. Ons gaan die land bou. Salut. Moenie baie gaan nie. Salut. Cheers, cheers.